You're listening to the Public Health Entrepreneurs Podcast with your host, Dr. Charlotte Huntley. Greetings, everyone, and thank you for joining me on this episode. On this podcast, we explore all sorts of topics that fall at the intersection of public health and entrepreneurship. My name is Dr. Charlotte Huntley, and I'm so happy that you've decided to join me on this episode. I'm a public health entrepreneur with over 25 years of experience in healthcare and in public health, and I've helped a lot of entrepreneurs along the way. In the previous episode, I talked about the importance of practicing gratitude and how it is a powerful tool that rewires our brains to focus on the positive aspects of life. Now, on this episode today, I'm going to continue in that theme of practicing gratitude and share with you the benefits of creating a stakeholder appreciation system. Let's dive into what that means. Now, this would be something that I would recommend as a monthly practice. It would involve creating a rotating schedule to acknowledge different groups of your stakeholders because, your stakeholders can make up multiple different groups of people. So let's look at the month. If this is a monthly practice, in week 1, maybe you focus on team members and expressing or sharing your gratitude for your team members through personal notes or recognition meetings is a great way to express your gratitude. And sometimes you have to remember that a little bit goes a long way. A little bit means a lot. I've noticed that from being on the receiving end of that. It doesn't take very much for me to make me smile or to feel appreciated. And I notice it also from the giving perspective for my team. It's the smallest things that I do for them that those little expressions of gratitude that just they light up and it means the most to them. So personal notes and little gifts are another way to do that. Sometimes with my team, it's about food. For example, we are a remote team. We have a few times a year that we're able to get together in person. And I can already tell you that my team enjoys when I have snacks. And wherever we are, we were recently in Minneapolis together. And one of the first things that we did was they found the closest Target and they made a run to pick up snacks. And they bring them back and divide them all up so everybody has snacks in their rooms. Those little things are exciting. And if you have been stuck in a hotel room for like a week at a conference, you get tired of eating out and, going to vending machines for snacks. So just to be able to have a mixture of fresh fruits or, healthier snack options in your room is really nice. And my team really appreciates that. So that was just one little thing that came to mind. But, even when you're remote or when you're not able to see each other on a regular basis, you have however you communicate on a regular basis with your team members, sometimes just a note that says, I appreciate you or appreciate your work today. Yes, it's what they're supposed to do, but recognizing what they do and personalizing a note can go a long way. All right. So the first week you can maybe just focus on team members. And it doesn't mean that you exhaust yourself trying to get every team member. Maybe you rotate around and you just pick one team member each time you go through this practice. All right. Week 2 could be community partners. Maybe you decide to send a thoughtful email or you arrange a coffee chat or, if you're able to invite someone or a small group over to have coffee and visit in your office, or you maybe show up at their office with some treat, or you meet somewhere. I did that with, actually it's a prospect. So they weren't a client at the time, but we are used to meeting at each other's offices. So I found out through someone else that she really loves going to Starbucks. So I invited her to meet me at Starbucks and it turned into the best meeting and it was a lot of fun and she really appreciated that. So sometimes those are things that you can do with community partners. Thoughtful emails, coffee chats, just kind of keep your radar up. So the second week of the month, you could focus on expressing or showing your gratitude through community partners. The third week could be your client. So impactful sharing and listening sessions are some examples of how you can express your gratitude for your client. And you may glaze over that, but let me give you an example from personal experience. I have a very large client and it's a very complicated project. The scope of work is somewhat streamlined, but it's a very involved, complex project. This is one of my largest clients. And I work very closely with one of the team members on their leadership team. So she is a senior program manager. And because we meet on a regular basis, I've gotten to know her. And she was going through a really particularly stressful time. I know she's going through some transition, a lot of things happening. And I noticed that our normal communication had dropped a little bit. So I reached out to her and I asked for just a brief meeting. There wasn't a problem. I didn't need anything. I just wanted to have a little check-in. So it was a short meeting and I asked how things were going. I just gave her a little bit of an update and I gave her that opportunity to update me as much as she wanted or as little as she wanted to. But she let me know at the end, because I asked about some of the things that were going on, she let me know at the end that she really appreciated me checking up on her or checking in with her. And so that was an example. Now you have to pace that according to your relationship with your client and how that goes. And it's not something you do all the time, but sometimes your instincts can guide you to what is appropriate at that time if we're paying attention. And that was an example of how I was able to have a listening session, because that was a little bit of me checking in, but it provided an opportunity to hear from my client. And that really strengthens our relationship. So week 3 could be a focus on your clients. How could you practice gratitude through impactful sharing and listening sessions? All right. So then week 4, I listed mentors. I think mentors are an important stakeholder, and we overlook mentors. We go to them. They like to pour into us and we listen. But I think that when you provide updates on how their guidance has helped you, you really underestimate how much that can be appreciated and how rewarding that can be for your mentor. I can speak from personal experience, and I also do this with my mentor. So week 4 could just be your practice of gratitude by updating your mentors on how their guidance is helping you. Give them some feedback. It is greatly appreciated. Trust me. So if you think about it, there is your monthly practice right there. That's your stakeholder appreciation system. All of these people are your stakeholders, your team members, community partners, clients, and mentors. You could have a focus one each week, and then before you know it, you have full circle come up with being able to express gratitude within that month. So maybe for you, you decide that those are not your exact 4 stakeholders, but you fill that in. I gave you some examples that I think will be very much a good fit for most of you listening. But the idea is that you are creating and you're practicing. You have this stakeholder appreciation system that you're practicing. And as I mentioned in the previous episode on gratitude, the key is consistency over perfection. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. By regularly acknowledging what we are thankful for, we create a positive feedback loop that makes us more resilient, empathetic, and effective in both our personal and our professional lives. As I wrap up this episode, I'm wondering what your thoughts are right now. Will you implement a stakeholder appreciation system? Let us know if you do. Follow us on LinkedIn at Public Health Entrepreneurs and either comment on a post for this episode or send us a direct message through the business page. Let us know your thoughts on the stakeholder appreciation system. All right, everyone. Until next time, have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you for listening. Visit publichealthentrepreneurs.com to learn more.